breaks down instantly crying, like instantly crying because he feels like he let her down, which he did. He did. Can't deny that. He really did. Two, one. Yo, you're back here. It means that there is another episode of the challenge on. All right, I know I missed episode 3, but we're going on to episode 4. Quick rundown. Episode 3. Tommy. Well, again, we had 4 rookies going into elimination chamber. We had Bananas and Nani win the daily challenge. Tommy and Annalise promised Olivia and Horatio that they will not put them, they will save them if they pull out the safe dagger. But that did not happen. Towards the end of the episode, as you know, it was ended up being Raven and Johnny versus Horatio and Olivia because Tommy and Annalise lied, and shit happens. But let's get into episode 4, and also a lot of love making in this episode. That is for sure. So let's get to it. So in episode 4, we saw the return. Well, we saw the entrance of Darrell and Veronica. Now, again, we know Darrell is the only challenger to win the challenge 4 times in a row. So him coming into the show this late is kind of scary. And, he has no alliances. There's nothing going on. And it's a problem, isn't it? It is very, very much a problem. But I will say this before we get into it. The choices you make will come back to haunt you. The choices you make will come back to haunt you. And that is very true for this episode for sure. So, again, we get Darrell and Veronica comes in and everyone's kind of okay and happy about it. But we're going to skip through all the way to the daily challenge. Now, daily challenges, if you haven't watched the challenge, you win the challenge, you get safe from elimination, but with the victory of winning, you have to then put in 4 teams into deliberations, and then you don't decide on who is actually going to be the one team that will be going into elimination and have no choice of being safe or anything. You don't choose that until you get to the elimination floor. Now, the daily challenge for this episode, if you're afraid of heights, this isn't for you. So, as you'll see, the challenge is you're hanging onto the bar, and as you're holding onto the bar, you have to hold on for the longest, and your partner has to run up and basically jump into you. You let go, and you got to grab a flag. Only 2 teams actually completed this challenge. Only 2 teams. Now, problem with that is one of the teams was Anissa and Jordan. Now, Jordan is some type of Superman. He does the things that no one ever expects, and he shocks pretty much everyone that he meets, that he is able to outperform people, he's outsmarting people, and it's amazing to see, to be honest. But the other team that also won was Nerys and Nelson. Now, ever since Nelson has entered the challenge, he has never won a daily challenge. Now, it came down to those 2, and the winner won by 50 seconds. Well, but I believe it's like, no, he didn't actually say. No, he just basically said out of 54 attempts. Nelson he's been on the show for a very, very long time, about 8 years now, if I'm correct. So, pretty long. And 54 attempts, and he finally got his first ever one. Now, with power comes responsibility. Now, this is where it gets very interesting. Now everyone assumes Nelson hooking up with Olivia, you know, he's gonna save her because, you know, it's his boofing. But by doing that, he would put a target on his back because that's not good. That's not good to have a target on your back because there's a lot of veterans in there, and we saw what happened when Corey instantly called out all the veterans that he's coming for them. Corey was always probably the first one to get eliminated every show that he came onto. Nelson's not that stupid. He is not that stupid. So it turns out that Olivia actually was the mastermind behind this elimination. She said, look, they spoke, he understood that, okay, so if I put you in, you know, we still good? She goes, it makes sense to do it because if you put me in, it means that you're showing that you're here to play the game. Respect, 100%. Everyone respects that. That's for sure. And then we have the people that was going into elimination anyway, because Nelson was always trying to protect Olivia. He put in Darrell and Veronica. Obviously, if you watch the show, coming in so late, you have no alliances. You have none whatsoever, so you're fair game. Then you have the two Germans. You have Kim and Colleen, who have somehow managed to skate past, and no one's really thinking about them as contenders, or they just don't want to put them in there yet, which, again, kind of crazy. And then we have, as I was saying, Colleen and Kim. They were the third team in there. And obviously, by no surprise to anybody in the house, Annalise and Tommy. Now, you break a deal, you lie, you cheat, you whatever, people are going to pay you back for that. And like I said in the beginning of the video, the choices you make will come back to haunt you. So, dagger time, Darrell, Veronica, Olivia and Horatio and Kim and Colleen are all going to pick their daggers. So Darrell and Veronica go first. They draw a blank. Now, again, Olivia and Horatio had been burnt already by Tommy and Annalise. So when you sit there and you think about it, you're like, oh, God damn it, they're going to get burnt again, aren't they? They are absolutely going to get burnt because you can't, look, there's only people that you can trust and then there's people that you can't. And we don't know where Kim and Colleen, their heads lie. So Horatio goes to draw his dagger and Lord and behold, it actually is the safe. It is the safe. And with that, Horatio and Olivia save Darrell and Veronica, which, because they have no alliance, works best for the two rookies. They're safe. Darrell and Veronica are safe. So that means Kim and Colleen are going up against Tommy and Annalise. Now, the elimination today was pretty tasty. Both teams, you'll see it. You can see it here. Both teams are holding onto the panel. They got to lift up their teammate while their teammate sorts out a puzzle. Now, Kim and Colleen get going. Kim is holding onto that rope and he is absolutely chilling. He's got her up and he is just standing there and he's doing bits. He's just chilling. He's relaxed. He's got nothing else to do but hold his partner up. Now, on the other hand, Tommy could not get Annalise up at all. He was using the wrong technique. He was not pulling. He kept trying to pull her with one leg stable on the ground with the other leg up in the air. And bear in mind, I forgot to mention this, that they are laying on top of mud, cold mud. And every time he tries to pull her, she's dropping back into it. And she's just getting muddy, cold. And there's nothing that she can do. Now, what makes it worse is that you had Kim giving Tommy advice, but Tommy's not listening. Tommy is still trying to do it the way that he was doing it, and it does not work. It just really doesn't work. It just gets worse and worse and worse. Now, Colleen's there just trying to work out the puzzle, but the puzzle's just not clicking. It's just not coming to that realization that this is how it's got to go, this is how it's got to go, just not working. It's just not working. She couldn't figure out why. But Lord and behold, it didn't really matter because Tommy could not get Annalise up. And with that happening, Colleen obviously ends up figuring it out and they win the elimination and Tommy and Annalise are sent home. Now, Tommy breaks down instantly crying, because he feels like he let her down, which he did. He did. Can't deny that. He really did. But the choices you make come back to haunt you. It is what it is. It's happened. They've been eliminated. Now, no more surprises for this episode. All the contestants for the $1 million prize are in the show, and there should be no more surprises. But knowing TJ, we might see a few new faces later on down the line. But that was the end of episode 4. Now, it's about to get a lot trickier. We have potentially 2 rookie teams left. Only 2. So, there are going to be some betrayals. There are going to be some backstabbings of a veteran rookie partnership in the next episode. What's going to happen? We don't know. But I can tell you this for a fact. It has something to do with Laurel and Michelle. Now, that's going to be fun. Now, who knows? But the challenge, fantastic show. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's amazing. It is outstanding. And they finished Challenge USA. I need to do a recap on that as well. They finished Challenge USA. They are doing Challenge Argentina and Challenge Australia and the Challenge UK, because there is going to be a official War of Worlds, or the Challenge Worlds Tour, or basically winners of each of these are going to be in the challenge to, compete for the first ever World Challenge Championships. So it should be fun. But let me know in the comments on what you think about episode 4. Did you enjoy it? Did you expect that outcome to happen in the elimination? Actually, that's a silly question, but you probably do. But let me know in the comments how you're feeling, and I will see you next week for episode 5. And you'll see me soon as well, because I've got another video to go. Peace! Emrich out.